It's that time on a Friday where I get to talk to you live. And today I'm going to be talking about energy. Why am I talking about energy? Because I've been through a whole process this week, thinking about how many conversations I have over the week and what I hear time and time again, the objections that I hear from, here, I have this to offer you. I have the opportunity for you not to be busy so much anymore, is I don't have time. That's what I hear again and again. I don't have time. I don't have time to do an hour every week. I don't have time to, whatever. And I've been really thinking about this and really listening to you and thinking, okay, well, actually, what I have to offer is going to give you more time. That doesn't work because no one believes me. And then I was thinking about energy. And I was thinking about, this isn't a time problem at all, actually. This is an energy problem. So if I said to you, okay, what about if I could help you to do all of the things that you need to get done in a day? What then? Because that would be great, wouldn't it? You've got this pile, this big list of stuff that you've got to get done. And you know that at the end of the day, every day, you're like, you haven't completed it. And I think I can do, well, I don't even think I know I can do that. By looking at how we expend our energy and how we replenish our energy. So as an example, thinking about your physical energy, this is going to be different for every single person, by the way. But your physical energy, you will find that what is replenishing are things like exercise. But if we don't feel energized, we're not going to want to do it. I certainly feel that. Oh my goodness, this week, going for a run, I did not want to go. But of course, when the endorphins kicked in, I was like, whoa, I could have given it another hour. So looking at our physical energy, it's things like that. It's like exercise, it is nutrition. So thinking about how often it might be that you skip lunch because you're so busy that you don't have lunch. But that then has this effect on your afternoon because you're trying to get all your stuff done, but you don't have the energy because you haven't put the energy in. The same with sleep, having enough sleep, going to bed at the same time each night. If we're not sleeping, we're not going to have the energy to be able to do all the things that we need to do. And taking rest, so you know how I feel about my old Pomodoro, which I love. I've told you about this before, doing the 25 minutes of work. But what I haven't gone into is how important it is to take the 5-minute break after the 25 minutes. And that 5-minute break actually resets us. It replenishes us. So, and that's proven. So just by walking up and down the stairs, getting outside, whatever, go and speaking to a colleague or someone in your house replenishes you for the next 25 minutes of work. So that's, that's physical energy. And then we've got mental energy. Like, where are we expending our mental energy? So think of it as leakage. Imagine you've got a pipe with water coming through, this energy, and then you've got a hole in your pipe. You're leaking this energy, and that energy can be leaked in various ways. But for mental energy, thinking about all the things that you're thinking about that you really don't need to expend energy on. So do you need to be engaging in watching the news 24/7 or allowing yourself to have things that come into your space that you have no control over? Thinking about distractions, like how often are you being distracted? How are you boundarying your mental energy? So there's so much leakage that happens in mental energy, and certainly was for me for years when I didn't understand how to harness that energy. And then of course there's emotional energy, and that's a whole other game, isn't it? This, like, how are you thinking? How is your thinking expending energy? So if you're thinking in ways that are the victim, these things are constantly happening to me, then that will be expending a huge amount of emotional energy. How can we replenish that? By using things like gratitude, or learning to look at life through a completely different lens, and a lens that actually brings in emotional energy for you. Breath work, thinking about your nervous system and how that is in fight or flight when we're stressed, when we've got so much to get done, that actually our nervous system is taking up a huge amount of our energy. And we can stop those leakages again of our energy by doing things like breathing exercises, taking deep breaths, doing box breathing, just stopping for a moment and taking deep breaths will plug some of those energy leakage gaps in your emotional energy. And then finally, thinking about I don't know how to call this, your spirit or your soul energy, thinking about the meaning or the purpose of what we're doing. If we have meaning or purpose, we're much more likely to generate energy. And that's why when I work with leaders who are doing work that is meaningful, they are much more energized. So if they're working either in the third sector or that their business is somehow doing good, that they are able to do the 12-hour day because that meaning actually gives them energy. I'm not saying do 12-hour days at all there. I'm just saying that is one way of creating energy. But be really careful, because if your only input of energy is through that soul or spirit energy, but you're not good control of your mental energy, you're not eating properly, you're not doing exercise, you're not doing the physical stuff. It has to be balanced in these 4 ways. You can't just have one that gives you the energy. So that's what I'm talking about today. That's what I'm talking about. The problem is not time. The problem is energy. So have a real think about that. Where are you expending energy in those areas? Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And how could you be replenishing? So I like to think of it as a bag of coins. Imagine you've got a bag of coins. And at the beginning of the day, you've got a certain amount of coins and you spend them on certain things. So for a good example might be somebody who is an introvert. If they're in a room full of people, they're going to be spending some of their coins. Whereas if they're an extrovert, actually, you might find that there's an exchange of energy and they actually get to put some coins in their bag. That's why it's so personal to you. Some things will expend energy, some things won't. But what we have to make sure is that we don't spend all our coins in the day and then borrow from tomorrow, so that we start the next day exhausted and with not enough coins to get through the day. There you go. There's a little analogy of energy. Have an amazing weekend. If you're watching this later, can you just put a little hashtag replay? That would be marvellous. And ask me any questions around energy, because I am getting into this